For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hello and welcome to Attwoolls Outdoors with me, Mike. Today I'm going to give you a pitching video on a new tent from Vango. So with me here today I've got the Vango Instant Classic 300. So essentially we've done a separate kind of review video on it, but we're going to show you how quick, simple and easy the tent is to pitch. So it's kind of a quick erect tent, really nice and quite smart. So we'll start by just unravelling it. So what you do tend to find is you've got a fly sheet and then kind of inner tent. So to be fair, once you've kind of pitched this the first time, what you can actually do is, well, you can almost leave the fly sheet attached. The only thing you'll be careful about is actually how you go about packing it away, because it sort of collapses in on itself. So that's always one thing to sort of be very cautious of. Someone has decided they're going to do lovely knots on this. So apologies in advance. I'm not sure. It's always one of the pet peeves, isn't it? I'll be honest, first time I pitched this, so we'll give it a go, but if I can do it, I'm sure you guys can do it. So first thing we do is open up the tent. So it's not a bad idea. There's a front and a back. It's basically the same kind of way. So what I'm going to do is kind of just approximately peg it down first, or even all just pop it up. It doesn't really make a difference. So you can just quite literally pop it up either side. And then we've got the actual part of the main tent itself. So at this point here, we're going to kind of put it in a position that we want to. These aren't the pegs that come with it. I'm just going to use my own pegs just for the sake of sort of ruining a couple of pegs. So we're just going to peg the main four corners of the fly sheet itself. We've done a separate review video as well, so you can always check that kind of video out if you want to see a bit more of the details of everything. But for this one, we're just kind of focusing on really the whole pitching kind of process of it. So once you kind of peg the main four corners, from there we can just put the fly sheet directly over the top. Of course, in this instance, you can use that as it is if you wanted to, but for me, really you're better off putting obviously your waterproof layer onto it. Joy is there's no kind of front or back. Merely you want to try and get the 2 points on the top aligned. So if I always flip this upside down, we can put 1 point over, and you want to follow the seam line that's on the fly sheet. There you go. So there's a seam line you can see, oops Daisy, just located there. You want to kind of directly follow that on. And at this point here, you have got tie points that can go on this point here. So there are little sort of eyelet points. So what you can do is, to increase the strength, actually you can twist this hub part, and that gives it a bit more stability. So that's one thing I'll do, is almost like use that like just to make sure before you pop it away, that you remember to pack that away. So we'll just feed that directly in. That's going to help fix kind of the fly sheet to the main body of it. Again, just means that it all sits nicely. And that's what I was saying about, you can almost, in many ways, leave it pre-attached. The only thing is when you come to kind of twiddle that part and strengthen that hub, that's when you kind of do that. Perfect. Now the fly sheet's pretty integral. What we then do is just sort of peg directly out. So what I'm going to do is sort of over peg the four corners. And again, ideally, you want this seam to line up pretty much near enough with that seam that was there previously. Again, we'll kind of go down this ridge line. You can get a bit of tension away from that as well. As we kind of peg the other side, it will also tension off it back a bit. But you want a little bit of a gap onto it, and then make sure the zip in the centre is completely sewn. We can probably do the ground sheet now. Just get that nice. Again, you can opt to choose whether you want this ground sheet physically out, or you're happy with it just as it is. But you want to, wherever you do, make sure you peg directly over the top of it. So you've got no points to kind of worry about. And we'll do the same for the back. Because it being quite symmetrical, it means it's nice and easy to pitch. And what you do on one side, you just do exactly the same. Each time I'd recommend kind of putting pegs in at a 45-degree angle. Just means it's quite nice and taut. And then we've just got 2 guide points on the either end, just to get more stability, and if need be, get a bit more tension on it. Like I said, the door can go kind of fully out if you really wanted to, but you can see how quick and easy it is. So it's ideal for kind of festival goers. You can go in quite nice and neatly. And the final thing that you would actually put in last, but by all means no means least, is some additional kind of bracer poles. So these kind of go inside, just to give a bit more stability kind of at either end really. So we'll venture in the back and put those last bits in. So it's really what it's designed is to kind of secure the hub point, and they just Velcro in place just for additional part. They go kind of an angle really. There's a little pocket located down the bottom here. So if they're going in kind of that angle there, it's not brilliant, well, admittedly where the camera is, but you can always check out a little review video that shows you how that sits and how well it sits. But you kind of have one for each end, so you've got a bit of, again, tension on each side, just to give a bit more stability. But that's it. Bish bash bosh. Done and dusted, pitched, ready to go, and on to the festival. So it was obviously very quick and easy to pitch.